If x squared times y cubed equals 4 over 27 and dy over dt equals 1/2, then what is dx over dt when x is equal to 2? All right, so this is a related rates problem, right? We have the initial equation, okay, which is right here, and we have this rate, right? dy dt, that's the change in y over time, okay? So the question here is, what is dx over dt, right? Sort of makes sense when you look at the equation. There's two variables, x and y, okay? So think about what we have to do here, right? We have to find the derivative, right? We have to find the derivative of this equation, but you notice that there's two variables, right? So we have to use implicit differentiation, and of course, in this case, we're going to have to use the product rule as well because these are being multiplied together. And then we'll be able to plug in these values and find this unknown quantity, all right? So let's go ahead, right? Let's go ahead and find the derivative of this guy. Remember, what we're doing is we are finding d dt, right? The change with respect to time of both, essentially both sides, right? The change with respect to time of this equation. And once again, here we got to use the product rule, right? So what does a product rule say, right? Let's say we have two functions, f times g multiplied together, then y prime, or dy dx, right? That's going to be equal to f prime g plus g prime f, okay? So in this case, of course, we can call this f, right? And we call that one g, right? So what's the derivative here going to be? Using the product rule, f prime, the derivative of x squared is 2x, so 2x y cubed, plus, and then we got to find g prime, right? Derivative of y cubed is 3y squared, right? So 3y squared, I'll just stick the x squared in front to make sure we go in order. But in this case, that'll be dy dt. Oh, I forgot the dx dt here, right? Okay. So 2x dx dt times y cubed plus 3y cubed times, or 3y squared times x squared times dy dt, and the derivative of a number, well, that's just equal to 0. All right, so let's take a look at what we have now, right? We want to find dx dt, right? This is what we want to find. So mathematically speaking, we should know everything else, right? We should know what x is, we should know what y is, we should know what dy dt is. Okay, do we? Well, yeah. dy over dt equals 1/2. Okay, so that's good. We know what that is. When x is equal to 2, okay, x is equal to 2, I know that. Wait a minute, it doesn't say anything about y. So how are we going to find y? Well, we just use the initial equation, right? X squared times y cubed equals 4 over 27, but we know that this, we want to find the exact moment when x is equal to 2. So, well, yeah, we should just be able to plug the 2 in here for x and solve for y. So let's plug that in, right? 2 squared is 4, so 4y cubed equals 4 over 27. We'll divide everything by 4 here. Same as multiplying by 1/4, right? So y cubed is 1 over 27. The numbers work out pretty nice here, right? We'll take the cube root of both sides. Cube root of y cubed is, of course, just y. Cube root of 27 is 3, so we'll get 1/3 here, right? So there we go. Okay, so now we have all the numbers that we need to plug into here. Okay, so let's take our time with this, right? Make sure you're neat and organized, right? So 2 times 2 times 1/3 to the third power times dx dt, right? Remember, that is what we want to find, plus 3 times x squared times y squared times dy dt, which we know is the 1/2, and that's going to equal 0, right? So from here, we should be able to sort of work everything out, right? 2 times 2 is 4. This is going to be 4 over 27 dx dt. Right here, let's see, one of these 3's is going to cancel out with one of those 3's. One of those 2's will cancel out one of those, right? So we get plus 2/3 equals 0, right? And from here, this is a little bit of algebra, right? We subtract the 2/3 over. That becomes negative 2/3 here. And last step here, right, we'll multiply both sides by 27 over 4. So we get 27 over 4 here. And what's going to happen? Well, of course, these cancel out. Yeah. So then we get our final answer, right? dx dt. In this case, 3 goes into 27 9 times. Those cancel out to 2, so we get negative 9 over 2. So at the exact moment, right? At the exact moment when x is equal to 2, the change in y over time is 1/2. Then the change in x over time is equal to negative 9 over 2. And that's all based on this initial equation.